Hi, I'm Dr. Carrie Lam.
I'm Dr. Jeremy Lam.
And this is Dr. Michael Lam, bringing you today a very interesting discussion on a compound called vitex berry. Okay, Dr. Carrie, let's take it away.
Vitex berry, also called chase tree or chaseberry, has actually been used for medicinal purposes in Europe for many, many years. In recent years, it's often used to correct hormonal imbalances. In Germany, physicians actually prescribe vitex for premenstrual syndrome symptoms more than any other medication. However, it's only fairly recently that this use has spread to the US. What exactly is vitex, Dr. Jeremy?
So vitex is a fruit plant, and it's found in the Middle East and also found in Africa. And the berries and the leaves have historically been used as a tonic for both female and male reproductive systems. And, historically, it's very interesting. It was actually used to suppress women's libidos when their husbands were away fighting wars, they were away from home. And then it was also used by men, particular in cases when, they chose to be single and for religious reasons. So vitex won't really fix your PCOS or other disorders, but it can help with some of the symptoms such as painful periods. If you have mood swings, headaches or migraines, sometimes it can help with breast tenderness or sleep disturbances as well, and vaginal dryness. Vitex is kind of can help alleviate kind of all of or some of these symptoms really. So it can do.
Yeah. So vitex. If you look at the physiology, is quite interesting. Now you mentioned a lot of these PCOS, PMS. The menstrual irregularities. Basically, they are really a hormonal disruption. The body's hormones is balanced between estrogen on one hand and progesterone on the other hand. When you have excessive amount of estrogen, then the symptoms of PCOS, premenstrual cramps, even fibroids, endometriosis, tend to be more significant. Vitex is, well, let me back up and say, the way to reduce, so basically the estrogen load goes up and the symptoms of PCOS and PMS comes on. So the key is to reduce the estrogen load. Well, how do you reduce the estrogen load? Is to give progesterone, because progesterone is a natural opposing hormone to estrogen. The two go hand in hand, they oppose each other and they balance each other. Now, vitex is not progesterone, but it is a weak compound that has very, very small progesterogenic type effect. Now, I have to use my words very carefully because it's not progesterone. If you break down vitex, you don't see a progesterone type a molecule in there, but it has that property that is similar to very weak progesterone. So that's why you say, in ancient times, before we know about progesterone and estrogen, when female have menstrual cramps or PCOS, the use of vitex is very common. Now, in the adrenal fatigue setting, many women tend to have irregular cycles. They tend to have painful periods, and they cannot even handle progesterone, even though progesterone would seem to be the obvious choice, because progesterone can be very hard on the liver. Now remember, both estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, anabolic steroids, all have to be metabolized by the liver. And if you have a weak liver or congested liver or extracellular matrix integrity, then progesterone go in the body can actually make things worse. So under those situations, the vitex can be an alternative consideration because of its weak progesterogenic effect. You get a little bit progesterone property, but you don't get the progesterone metabolization and the liver burden. But unfortunately, you have to know how to use this because if you use too little, then you're not going to see any symptom relief. And if you use too much, you can get into trouble. So vitex, as good a compound it is, has to be properly used in the right context.
Right. Because vitex can also stimulate the release of luteinizing hormone, LH. And this hormone is very important to triggering ovulation and corpus luteum development. And so this helps for people who are really trying to become fertile and become reproductive and balance their hormone levels. And so we are always trying to see what are some ways of helping your body be able to ovulate on its own. And so there are compounds like this vitex, which are also anti-inflammatory to reduce inflammation and be able to balance your estrogen and progesterone ratios.
Yeah, but one thing I must further to emphasize is because chemically, progesterone and estrogen are 99% the same. There's only some groups that is a little off. So why is it important? Is it because if you have a sensitive body, what can happen is that the progesterone, whether it is vitex or progesterone itself, they can sit on the receptor sites and behave estrogenically because they're so close. And sometimes the key and lock mechanism get confused. So you can take progesterone and instead of calming, it can be more excitatory. Instead of helping you to sleep, you can feel more jittery. And same thing can happen to vitex. So that's why with adrenal fatigue setting, this is a good compound, but it has to be used properly, okay?
So I hope you have learned something about vitex and how it can be used in adrenal fatigue or even in hormonal balancing. We're here to empower you to take control of your health. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel down below. If you have any questions about how to use the vitex or what kind of supplement and any ways of using it, definitely comment down below and hit our like button and the notification button so you know whenever we release a new video. Hope you have a good day.
Bye.